Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. My name is Landon, and I am so excited to jump into this Monday edition as we look back on the transfer portal entry, not entry, well, we can look at entries, but also the people who are coming in to Mississippi State, as Mississippi State has added some additions, mostly from one school so far, and also announced several players from Mississippi State baseball that they are retaining. So we'll go over several of those and kind of talk about what they will bring to the table. I mean, there's still a lot of portal left. There's still a lot of teams that are in the College World Series. So I would expect there to be some additional entries for guys that are just kind of hunting some additional funds, maybe a new opportunity once that gets all wrapped up. So really good players will probably be entering here in the next week or so. But there's still some very good players that have already entered, and State has got several of them. And there still looks like there's a couple other very big ones that potentially could be coming to Starkville. But there's also a lot of or several players that have announced that they're coming back to Mississippi State. We'll talk about those as really one very, very important one, kind of key one with Ace Reese. So excited to get into that in this Monday edition. Also, I wanted to mention that on Thursday, we have a really good episode as we are starting our series where we will enter every week leading up to the football season. We will interview a different beat writer from a school Mississippi State is facing in order. So first up is Southern Miss. So we will be interviewing USM beat writer Andrew Adbadi for USM. Very excited to hear about kind of what type of kind of where Southern Miss is and what they're looking like under first-year head coach there in Hattiesburg, Charles Huff. I mean, obviously, Coach Huff had a really, really amazing job, did an amazing job at Marshall. USM ends up getting him and really, really pumped me. He added a really good portal class. So Southern Miss's talent is much, much greater than they were a year ago. So excited to hear from him on Thursday. Make sure you tune into that. But want to let you know that this episode and every episode is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Heath Riles Barbecue. And man, if you're looking for some great rubs, Heath has got you covered. It's home to award-winning rubs, seasonings, glazes, marinades, and injections. Created by 2025 Memphis in May grand champion and 81-time grand champion Heath Riles. These products are trusted by pit masters and backyard cooks alike for bold flavor and winning results. I've not been able to get away from his beef rub. His beef rub is so good. Because if you're doing a brisket, you want some kind of heavy pepper flavor profiles, and that's good. Say that 5 times fast. But I am a big fan of doing, pork. Honestly, I'm doing pork chops, which is this is still good on that, and also steak. Like I am big on getting the perfect steak cooked, and Heath has me covered. I even put a little glaze with some mushrooms on top, hit some of the beef rub on top of it. Is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, but here's the deal. You can get all of his products at 15,000 different retailers nationwide, Kroger, Walmart, Academy Sports. There's so many of them. But the easiest thing to do, go to heathrilesbarbecue.com and get whatever you'd like. But the promo code will save you some money just for being a listener of the show. Enter DAWGS10, DAWGS 10, all one word, all caps, for 10% off. Get that shipping. Man, forget about the shipping cost. Just get that out of there, man. You're a listener of My Dogs Pod. Save you some money. Make sure you do that. And Heath Riles Barbecue, grill with confidence, season like a pro. Check them out, and you will not regret it. I promise. There's a lot of good Mississippi State grillers and smokers out there that would attest to that as well. Also, hey, are you looking for your next new favorite hat? Hovey has you covered. It literally has my head covered right now, and it could also have you covered. Hovey is I'm a huge fan of them. But if you're looking for your next favorite Mississippi State hat, look no further. Hovey hats are high quality headwear that will have your friends asking about them. No question at all. Take a look at their collection of Mississippi State hats at HoveyDryGoods.com. Hovey offers limited edition hats in small batches, bringing a new, fresh look to some of your favorite teams. Grab your new favorite hat at HoveyDryGoods.com. And I mentioned on the show that during the football season, I saw this hat and I was like, dude, where do you get this? This hat's freaking awesome. I saw it and I was like, where is this? And the place I saw it was on Jeff Lebby's head. And it was during a game. And I was asking my wife, like, where have you seen this before? And so we searched all around. I had people asking me like, "Where is this hat? I can't find it anywhere." Turns out it was Hovey that was providing that hat for Coach Levy, and you will not regret it, man. The hats are so cool. Like I mentioned, they really are. It's a unique look because there's so many good hats, but you want something that looks a little bit different sometimes. Hovey is the way to go. I love the classic Bulldog is cool. I love the cowbell, man. It looks so sweet. It's got this cool breathable material as well. And he offers several different options. But check that out at HoveyDryGoods.com. You will not regret it. Also, want to shout out to our partners at ARPA's. ARPA's in the heart of the Cotton District. You should see my desk, man. Covered with stuff. ARPA's understands great food and drinks are best enjoyed in the company of friends and loved ones. Their awesome atmosphere creates a great backdrop for laughter, good times, shared memories. Jose and his family can hook you up. Go to ARPA's, grab a coffee, grab something to eat. We'll save you 15% off. Mention that you love the MyDawgsPod discount for being a listener of the show. 15% off today, tomorrow, and the next day. So we have several different additions in the portal to talk about. And honestly, I've never experienced an offseason like this for Mississippi State. I cannot remember a sport that had this much buzz after, honestly, just knowing the season was ending. There were still State fans that were they weren't upset. They were excited about the future, and just I've never seen it before. And this season has provided something very unique because Mississippi State fans are excited about next season, despite the fact that they're, you have the basketball team that's made 3 straight NCAA title. Pardon me. 3 straight NCAA tournaments. You can tell we had a child 1 week ago, as you can tell by the bags under my eyes. So I'm a little slower today. Need to grab me some ARPAs. But whenever you think about who Mississippi State is bringing in, it creates an excitement. And here's the deal: like we still got a minute to go in the portal. So for Mississippi State, they have added, I think, one of the better players in the ACC as Aiden Teal. Aiden about a 317 on the season in the outfield, but honestly, his defense is where he shines to me. I mean, he's more of a defensive addition than offensive addition. But he still hits over 300, which is a great deal. His brother is Kyle Teal, who plays in the MLB. He is really, really talented. I mean, if you watch any sort of highlights, watch any games, like he makes his impact known in the outfield. And as I mentioned, I mean, he's a guy that did really well offensively. Also, so he's a guy I'm really excited about in the outfield to be able to play. Also, got some brothers that are joining in. Thomas Valanciunas from Virginia. The pitcher had 77 Ks to 17 walks was his ratio. Fair, strong, but fair. I would say. Really excited about him. And then here's the thing: his brother, Vitus Valanciunas. I'm so sorry. Batted 348 for Illinois this past season, and he's the lone player thus far that Mississippi State has gotten in the portal that has not come from Virginia. But he's brothers with Thomas. But here's the thing: Vitus had 348 batting average, and he was all Big Ten second team this season. Another good player out in the outfield. That State has done really, really well there. And then also James Nunnally, who is the Virginia guy. He's a freshman this season. So he'd be going into a sophomore season. Here's what I really like about him. Listen to this. He ranked as the hardest player to strike out in the ACC with a K rate of just 10.9. He hit 296, a home run, 26 RBIs. He's an outfielder, been kind of shift around a little bit. I really, really like him. I mean, he shows he's got a lot of discipline at the plate, not a guy that swings a whole lot. It's something that's interesting. Dakota Jordan and Hunter Hines, when they got to the plate, it's kind of your classic boom or bust scenario for one of those three spot, four hole hitters. They could hit the long ball really well. Hunter Hines hit it better than anyone in Mississippi State history. I mean, he literally played unreal, right? The problem was he was a strikeout machine, as some of those players are. Dakota Jordan, man, when he got in a rut, it was ugly. Now could he hit the long ball? That's great. I'd rather have some base hits and get on base and drive people in. But James Nunnally is a guy who's going to be very smart about where he hits. He's that exact opposite. He's a guy who's very hard to strike out. How hard? Well, out of everybody in the ACC, he was the hardest to strike out. He's very, very disciplined at the plate. And again, he's not a long ball hitter. He only hit 1 home run, but had 26 RBIs in his limited time. And look, when you look at that, it's not like he had only 30 at bats or anything. He didn't have 300. He didn't have 30. He had under 100 at bats, but in those at bats, he showed he was incredibly disciplined compared to everybody else that was there. He had 12 doubles during that time. As I mentioned, just a hair under 300, batting 296. And then Chone James, the catcher for UVA, was hold on. I had the wrong info about James Nunnally when it comes to at-bats. I want to see what his total at-bats are because I want to get that just right. It was Chone James who had under 100. Chone James had 67 at-bats, and he was also very very efficient when it came to everything else. Okay, so James Nunnally had he had 142 at-bats, so that's even more impressive. Out of 143 at-bats, I think he only struck out 12 times this season. Pretty unbelievable throughout the season. 13 times in 142 at bats. Remarkable. Really, really excited for James Nunnally. And then Chone James, the catcher, batted 379 in 67 at bats for UVA. That's good. I don't care who you are. That's really, really good. He had 5 doubles, 11 RBIs, triple. He had 8 multi-hit games. Again, just another guy like Joe Powell. I love the fireman, man, but had some struggles hitting the ball, as some catchers do. This is not going to be a guy that has those issues, as it would appear. Like it appears as if he is good to go when it comes to that, at least. So I love that. Like the people that State's brought in is really good, and then you look at the people that State brought back. So think about the players that Mississippi State has announced thus far is bringing back. I think there's really only one that kind of concerns me that is not coming back so far. We'll see how things change. But Ace Reese is the biggest part of that. The ACC Newcomer of the Year announced he's coming back to Mississippi State. Batted 347, 21 home runs. He was outstanding, man. He was State's best player all season long. Honestly, he really kind of hit a little bit of a what's the word? He kind of hit a slump when it came to the back half of the season. That was a little bit concerning, and not concerning for his future, but it did not allow Mississippi State to press forward because he was struggling so much. And as much as you hate that, you're excited to get him back for another season because he played really, really well on the front end of things. Other players, Bryce Chance announced he's coming back to Mississippi State for his final season. Ben Davis is returning to the Bulldogs. Ben Davis is an excellent piece. Davis got them out of a couple of jams, more than a couple of jams this season, and had a really impressive strikeout ratio. I mean, 61 strikeouts in 51 innings, and was a guy that could come in the middle of the game if State was having trouble and could kind of help them out. As I mentioned, get them out of several jams. Really glad he's back. The only player that is not coming back thus far, I mean, there's a number of different, Nolan Stevens going to Oklahoma. That's a bummer. But the only real player that I think is a little bit disappointing that he's entered the portal, and who knows, he could come back, but it was rumored that he had been encouraged to enter the portal. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's Luke Dotson. And Luke Dotson played really well this season and really showed potential. I mean, same thing. He did what a middle reliever is supposed to do. He got you out of jams. So I don't like the fact that he has entered the portal, and he could come back. That could happen. But I'm a little concerned that he's gone from Mississippi State. And then lastly, the last part I wanted to cover that was here, Charlie Foster is going to be coming back from Mississippi State this season, draft eligible there in 27. So he's got a couple more years, but Charlie Foster looked good in some spots this season. He's a really young guy, but I liked what I saw from him in spots. And look, here's the deal. If, he had some injury trouble, but he is coming back for his sophomore year. And honestly, if Justin Parker wants someone, man, I want them. That he's shown that he can be reliable when it comes to that. And all these guys that are back is because Mississippi State has showed under this hire of Brian O'Connor a particular commitment to baseball and commitment to NIL. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Whenever we get back from the break, we'll kind of talk about that in a little bit bigger, kind of a bigger, broader view. But Mississippi State, make no mistake about it, they were able to get these guys because of that. And look, many of these players might get a little bit bigger of a payday. Who knows? You know what, man? At the end of the day, some of these people might even end up being rich. But what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi, Edward Jones financial advisor serving clients in the area and across the state of Mississippi. So count on him for financial strategies that can help you support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843, and together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. We'll be right back after these messages from MPW Digital. We'll talk about the Brian O'Connor hire and what this means for Mississippi State just a few days after it was announced.
All MPW Digital podcasts are brought to you by our friends at Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it remarkably well. The doctor is introducing their new go-to IPA, Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb, dry hopped with a blend of their favorite hand-selected hops from the Yakima Valley in Washington. Dr. Juice's drinkability is sneaky good, considering it clocks in at 6% ABV. The pour glows a rich cantaloupe hue with a thick frosted haze, soft mouthfeel, an aroma and taste that's full of passion fruit, papaya, and blood orange, making it drink like a glass of freshly squeezed juice. They also have Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA brewed with obscene quantities of hand-selected Citra hops from Yakima Valley. Expect pungent grapefruit flavors and aromas, tropical fruit, less harsh bitterness than most IPAs. Again, it's Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get your beer, check out Parish. Make sure that you look for them, because any beer that you get from Parish is going to be absolutely outstanding. Thank you from MPW Digital. We're brought to you by Easy Hemp Company. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative, a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural. Made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calories, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit EasyHempCo.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC, CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly.
Back to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. And as we come back, we mentioned several players that Mississippi State has coming back this season. Ace Reese kind of leading out of all those players. And there's some really good players that have come in from the portal, albeit have some sort of tie to Brian O'Connor, whether they played for him or their sibling played for him. So I'd love to see, where they're going to go outside of that. I would expect them to bring in several more relievers. And Justin Parker has done, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Justin Parker's evaluation in the portal has been really good. I mean, think about Cal Steven was a weekend guy, but not a Friday night guy. I think he was a Sunday night guy starting at Purdue. And he took him from that all the way to be the Friday night starter in the SEC to getting drafted and doing really well. I mean, Justin Parker's evaluation in the portal is really, really good, and what he can do and what he can bring in. Now we're going to be able to see what it is that Brian O'Connor can do. And it's just, this level of commitment in the baseball program is really good. And the more I've thought about it this week, the clearer it gets. So I live in Tuscaloosa. I used to live in Starkville, live in Tuscaloosa. The reason I bring that up is because there's a stronghold on football for that Georgia, Alabama, and sometimes I start thinking about Mississippi State and I go, man, is it even possible for State to win at a high level at this point in time because of how NIL, because of the portal? Is it even possible? Because you need some years to sustain level of continuity. Think about the Ole Miss team that did really well. I mean, several of those guys were the transfers, but they've been playing together now, 3 and 4 years. But for State, are they going to lose people who do really, really well and end up going, elsewhere? And so as I was thinking, football, Mississippi State might not ever get to that point in football. And I don't know if they've admitted that, and they never would. But I was thinking with Brian O'Connor and this commitment to the baseball program, I think State is saying, look, we're going to do really well in basketball. We're expecting to make the tournament every year. That's an expectation. We'll see what we do, win a couple games. That'd be great. Football, we're going to do the best we can because it's the moneymaker. But baseball is the one thing that I think State has an opportunity to wrap its hands around and do exceedingly well in for a number of years. And I think that's what this hire showed, is that, you know what? You can get Mississippi State in football. You can get them in softball. You can get them in women's, basketball. You can get them in men's basketball, overall. But baseball is going to be the one place where Mississippi State's going to invest all that they have and push their chips to the front of the table. And if they fail, they fail. But they are going to go down swinging. And it looks like that's what they've done. And I can remember years ago, there's a friend of mine was talking about how he had just gotten out of a long relationship, and he said, I'm not going to try again. He was a little bit older, so he's in his mid 40s. He's like, I'm not going to try again. He didn't have any kids or anything, so it's a little bit of a higher stakes when you have kids in the mix. But he's saying it's just I can't try again, only to get hurt. And then he's asking what I would do, the 25-year-old or so at the time. So very valuable wisdom I had. But I remember thinking and telling him, you can't hit a home run unless you swing. And it's cliche, but it's a lot easier to go up to the batter's box when it's your turn and just stand there and just go, well, they might walk me and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to swing though. Or if I swing, I'll do a half-hearted swings. What if I swing and strike out and I look silly? That's true, man. But what if you hit it? What if you make contact and you really drive the ball out of there? Then it's all worth it. You can apply that to business or dating or whatever it is. Mississippi State has applied and said, look, we are swinging for the fences and pushing it all there. And we might strike out. And this might not work out, but we're going to at least try. And I think that has fans very excited to think that Mississippi State is giving everything they have to this baseball program. And I love it. I think it's brilliant. It's the one thing that Mississippi State could really compete in year out that maybe an Alabama can't or has not in the past, or Georgia, has not in the past, year in and year out. But Mississippi State, they can. And it appears as if they're going to try everything they can to swing for the fences and give it all to Brian O'Connor and just let the chips fall where they may. As a reminder, Thursday's show, we will interview USM beat writer Andrew Abdadi from on Thursday's show to talk about Southern Miss and to preview their matchup with Mississippi State. I'm really excited about that. And as I mentioned, just as we get closer to the start of the season, we'll have on someone who's a beat writer or that covers the team for that specific opponent. We'll go through the entire schedule in order. So I believe the next up on the list will be Arizona State after Southern Miss. So very excited about that, man. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We had a big uptick in followers on Twitter this week. Always thankful for that. But make sure you subscribe to MPW Digital. Hey, if you like this video, you want to see more of this, give us a like. It really does help us out. Give us a comment. We love the network we're on at MPW Digital, but man, we can always use Mississippi State presence for those of you that enjoy this content. So let us know that you enjoy it. Follow us on Twitter, just at MyDawgsPod. Thank you so much for listening to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. We'll holler at you next time.